Shirley Nathan Pulliam, State Senator for Maryland, and I am the first Caribbean-born ever to be elected to the Maryland General Assembly in its almost 400-year history. I am a life member of CAIO, the Caribbean American Intercultural Organization, and the convener and the founding mother of the Jamaican Association of Maryland, and many, many other Caribbean organizations over these years that I have been involved in. And of course, as an advisor to ICS from its inception. So I have a different view, an overview of the organization and what has been accomplished and where it needs to go.
My name is Claudette Lindsay, host of the Caribbean Exchange on Morgan State University Radio.
My name is Noel Godfrey, and I'm the immediate past president of the Jamaican Association of Maryland, and I'm also currently the second vice president of the University of the West Indies Alumni Association in Washington, D.C.
Yes, I got to know Dr. Nelson as a very, very young woman in the late 70s. She was a multi-talented, a dancer, a writer, an actor, a dramatizer. She can dramatize many of the things that she has written. And then fast forward in getting a PhD in industrial engineering, I could see so much potential for this young woman who didn't really understand herself or her reach and her capabilities. But as she grew, we saw it in our own communities. She has reached so many around the world. I can still think of the many people I've met at the Institute of Caribbean Studies gala that I would never have met had it not for Dr. Nelson, who had been able to convene and bring those people to the table. And as a champion of change and as a futurist, I see many, many things that she can continue to accomplish into the near future. But I also say that when I first met her, she had a speech impediment. She was afraid to speak because she stuttered, and she saw that as a crutch, and we removed that crutch by challenging her to speak on a panel. And she did, at a women's conference in Baltimore. And after that, she took off, and there was no stopping her, no shutting her up either. She was doing so many marvelous things in our community, and I hope she will continue to take that kind of passion into the 2023 as we move into ICS 30th year. So with that, I expect great things from the Institute of Caribbean Studies.
I have very vivid memories at our first meeting. That was in 1994. At that time, I was the president of the cricket club, the Baltimore Cricket and Social Club, and I was told about Dr. Nelson by the current president of the Jamaican Association of Maryland, Mr. Rick Nugent. And I really asked him about her because I was interested in interviewing her to get some information about her, particularly regarding her career as an engineer. And I understand that she was the first Jamaican female to have earned 3 degrees in the engineering discipline. So one thing led to another, and I interviewed her, and one thing led to another, in that she told me about the Institute for Caribbean Studies and what her mission was, her goal was. And honestly, I just felt that I should be a part of that mission. And there I started to attend meetings that same year, 1994. Remember, ICS was inaugurated or became institution in 1993. It was founded in 1993, in other words. And in 1994, I joined, and I used to attend meetings in Washington, D.C. at Gabriel Christian's office, law firm, on 7th Street in Washington, D.C. And I was a regular attendee and got myself really involved in ICS, selling tickets for the annual gala, and got to know Dr. Nelson a lot more.
Just prior to the formation of the Institute of Caribbean Studies, um, Claire then asked me if I would agree to be on the advisory committee, and I decided yes, and I said yes, and so I was there just before its total inception.
I started supporting the Institute of Caribbean Studies and Dr. Claire Nelson, I believe it is around 1990. I met Dr. Claire Nelson, and I really liked her passion, her energy. And as host of the Caribbean Exchange, we use it as a platform so she could reach out to not only the Caribbean community but friends of the Caribbean to express her ideas and where she would like to see the Caribbean community in the future. And so my support for her and the organization really is based on how passionate she is, how creative her ideas. She always thinks outside of the box, and that is one of the reasons why I support Dr. Nelson and ICS.
I would like to say to Dr. Nelson, continue to be passionate about the things that you do. You have touched many lives in terms of the, which also includes the Caribbean American um, month in America. And so therefore you have been all over, or she has been, I should say, all over the United States, speaking and reaching folks from all different Caribbean region to talk about the importance of the Caribbean countries and the role they play. I've been privileged over these many years, initially, to go to the White House, to a White House conference. And I think somebody else can elaborate some more on that. However, that was another opportunity for those who never had the chance to go to the White House conference to be able to say, I have, and to listen to very involved discussion with government and members of the cabinet to talk about where we need to go and the kind of trade and involvement that the Caribbean countries need to have with America and the world.
First, I'd like to congratulate Dr. Nelson on 25 years. That's a long time. She has been steadfast and unmovable, and I would like to encourage her to continue. She's very passionate, and she takes this position as president and founder of the Institute of Caribbean Studies. She doesn't take it lightly, and so I want to encourage her to continue, and we will continue to give her all the support that she needs.
Dr. Nelson, you are energetic. You are persuasive, and you have accomplished a lot. One of the messages I would like to send to you is that you have to look now in terms of succession. We don't want ICS to discontinue because you're not there. We want it to continue, whether you're there or not, whether you're here or not. And I really think in terms of your health. I think in terms of your longevity. And I know you can last forever and for a long time, but the human body gets tired. And I am just appealing to you that you definitely put someone in place now. And I think you probably have already done that, because I think in terms of Walcott, that guy is a terrific guy, very dedicated, devoted to you over the years, and there are others as well. So maybe you should be looking towards putting ICS in that position whereby it is sustainable and it continues. Another message I'd like to send to you, Claire, is that what you've started will continue and will grow, because you have enough people who believes, enough people who believe in what you're doing, enough people who believe that ICS is definitely an agency, and you try to get people um, from the Caribbean in the powers in of Washington through elective offices and so forth. As a matter of fact, I can recall that you were the one who suggested to me that I run for office, run for something, dog catcher or whatever. And it was your suggestion that I talk to then Governor O'Malley about being on one of the economic committees or something like that. And I never really got on the economic committee, but I did get on the commission, the commission to study the death penalty. I was selected by the governor to, as one of the persons he selected was me to sit on the committee to study the death penalty, and we did that for 6 months. We went through a lot of legalese, a lot of stuff, a lot of cases, case studies, and I felt very good. And I can only credit to you for suggesting that to me, that I look in terms of getting involved in local government and so forth. So thank you for that.
Yes, I'm hoping that the institution would continue to reach out and work with young people from across the diaspora to continue to engage the various um, states around the United States and how they can be involved in trade in the Caribbean, with the Caribbean. The She is a futurist, so I'm sure her depth and her vision for where she wants to be for 2023 is already on the drawing board. Right now she's looking at how Caribbean has a lot of spices. How can she engage McCormick and Company and other places that do spice, and how can she get more trade? Um, her whole I Her whole being is about improving the economic um, development and stature of the Caribbean countries. And of course, her homeland, Jamaica, is right there too. Because she's back and forth between there, and she's in Africa. She's all over the place, learning as much as she can, and to reach out. She just has to find a way to make sure that she can garnish all this support and be able to work closely with many levels of people.
By 2023, I hope ICS will be a household name. And I hope that all the organizations, all the Caribbean organizations, will work together with ICS to make that happen. I believe one of the strengths of the Institute of Caribbean Studies is bringing people together, breaking down walls, building bridges. The Institute of Caribbean Studies bring people together the Institute work with local organization as well as national organization to promote Caribbean culture, to promote economic development, cultural exchange in the United States and abroad. And the Institute also work with the various organizations, both locally and nationally, bringing people together.
In 2016, Dr. Nelson launched a new initiative for ICS, and that's called the 30 Under 30, whereby she would reach out to young people that fit that age group, under 30 and 30, and the purpose was to bring together in one place and space the intellect and the vision and the entrepreneurship of all these young people. And so far, we've had two so far, 2016 and 2017, and both have been successful. We have young people showing how they invented this or invented that, or how they have reached out in the community and helped to bring people together. So this was a big, big success that Dr. Nelson undertook in 2016, the 30 Under 30 young people. And they are drawn from all over the country, all over. And I see big success in that in the years ahead.